Hello everybody, welcome to Coding Quick Hits. We're going to look at simple regular expressions. Let's say that you have a string called junk123 equals. That's the prefix you want to get rid of. After that's the good stuff. Then you have a suffix at the end, /now bad stuff. How do you get rid of the prefix and the suffix? There are several ways of doing it. I like using the dot replace method. I think it's pretty easy to understand and remember. This is a simple regular expression tutorial. It's a deep subject, but at least you'll be able to learn how to get rid of prefixes and suffixes. Now, since I don't deal with regular expressions on a daily basis, I like to work with this on a step-by-step process. So first I'll get rid of the prefix, and then I'll get rid of the suffix. If I feel confident about the overall solution, I'll combine it together and I'll show you how you can do that. Let's first look at stripping out the prefix. Here's our string. Now we'll get rid of the prefix. The syntax for the dot replace takes two arguments. The first argument is your regular expression string. It's offset at the beginning and the end by a /. Here is an up caret, which means that you're dealing with the very beginning of the string. Then you have junk123 equals. Now you could say, I don't need the up caret because there's no other junk123 equals in the middle, but who knows, there might be. Or maybe, and if it's in the middle, you want it. The up caret just ensures that you're dealing with the beginning. There you go. Now, we'll build on that intermediate solution. We'll say fix2 equals fix1 dot replace rather than the overall string. We'll say for the regular expression, now bad stuff, you'll need to escape this / with the \. I added an anchor tag at the end. It's not necessary, but I just wanted to show you if you're working backwards, you definitely can do that. And if you have to work backwards, then you need to include that anchor tag. It's really optional for this particular solution. There you go. Now, this is a little bit of a brittle solution because if, let's say the suffix is variable length, maybe sometimes it says now bad stuff and a date, a time, or now maybe it says /now baddest stuff. The point is you're dealing with a variable length string or variable formatted string, but what you do know is once you hit this part, /now, you know you want to get rid of that suffix, anything after the end of that. To handle that scenario, you'll use this technique. It's still the dot replace, but you'll use a dot asterisk. Now what you're saying is anything after that keyword, doesn't matter how many characters it is, get rid of it. And I didn't even use an anchor tag in this situation. Right, so we'll go ahead and use that. Now let me kind of clear this out. We'll say it's this. And I'll just prove to you that this part doesn't work for the suffix. It works for the prefix, is fine. The prefix is fine. Now we'll say fix2 equals, and we'll build off of fix1 because remember fix1 looks fine. We will use this for the suffix, and let's see what we get. There you go. That's very, very useful. Now, suppose that you feel very confident about your solution. You don't like these intermediate fix1. You're never going to use it again. You can combine it together using this pipe. So you can combine different regular expressions, just one after another, just put pipes in there. You'll have to put a G in there to make it global, but let me just prove to you, you really do need the G to make this thing work. We'll make sure we're dealing with this. Right. Now we'll put this in here. What happened was it just picked up the first one and just said, I'm done. So that's why we need the G. Let's put that in there. Let's use that again. Now we got it all. It means global. One other thing you may run into is you might need to say, I'm case insensitive. Let's take a look at that. Suppose the U could be capitalized. Maybe all of junk's capitalized. Who knows what? Or it could be variably capitalized. If we worked with the previous solution, even though we had the G, global is fine, but we're not going to get rid of the junk part because that's capitalized. Now, to handle that, you just simply put in an I. There you go. Now just remember, all you need to do is remember after these slashes, the G and the I. Those are very common additional suffixes you'll add. One other method you could use if you really hate regular expressions. Now this is super brittle, but in some cases it'll work. If you know for sure that it's going to be, let me go back to the original solution. Suppose you know for sure it's always going to be junk 1, 2, 3 equals. I know it's always going to be that. And at the end, you know it's always going to be this. Never going to change. Well, I suppose in that case, there's really no reason you have to use regular expressions. You could use this. What the substring does is it says, I'm going to start after the 8th character, with the 8th character. You'll just be working from this forward all the way down here. And then the slice, because we're dealing with negative numbers, you say negative 14, you'll count backwards 14 characters. All right, I counted this up ahead of time. So you could use this, and that should work. There you go. You could also combine replace with slice. So for example, suppose that you had substring, you know for sure it's 8 that are bad. You want to get rid of those 8. However, the suffix could be variable length. You can do that. That should work. Yep, there you go. All right, so now you know how to use regular expressions. You don't need to be afraid of it. For simple prefixes and suffixes, you have variable length suffixes. If you know for sure it's a very standardized string, you could use substring and slice as well. All right, thanks for tuning in. I hope you learned something new today. Bye-bye.